Okay, here's some examples of some mixture problems. And on any of these problems, remember, you can always just look at the video right here. You could pause it and try to do this problem and check your result and see if you're putting everything where it needs to go and if you're doing all the algebraic work correctly. And then you could just replay the video, start the video, and fast forward to the end and check your answer. And if your answer's correct and everything is in the right place, you're probably okay. Otherwise, you can go back and replay the video and see, what you did wrong. So that's a good technique. So you can use any of these videos as kind of like practice problems or a practice quiz. So keep that in mind. So here's the first example. And this is a standard type of problem. We've got two solutions. We're going to mix them up to make a third solution. And we want to check our amounts to see how much of each solution we have. And there can be different variations on these. This is the most typical. So we've got a 56% salt solution was mixed with a 42% salt solution to produce 21 liters of a 48% salt solution. How much 56% and how much 42% salt solutions were used? So we use the table primarily to organize our data, and this is what I call this a VATV table, or value times amount equals total value. And remember, these things multiply across and they add down. That's where we get our equations. So we've got a 56% salt solution, so I'll just label that over here. And then I've got a 42% salt solution. And I want to end up with mixing these and get a 48% salt solution. And remember, when we're mixing, this number has got to be between these two numbers. All right. Because you can't get greater than 50% or less than 42% because you're mixing these. So the value would be the decimal, so this would be 0.56. This is 0.42, and this is 0.48. So that's the value or the amount of salt that's in these solutions. So 56% of this solution is salt, 42% of this solution is salt. And we have 21 liters of the 48% solution. So 48% of the 21 liters is salt. Okay, so now we have to have one variable. First of all, we know these multiply across, like I said. So I can actually go ahead and multiply this across, and I've got 0.48 times 21. That's how much salt I've got in my final solution. So now we have to figure out how much of the 56% and how much of the 42% solution we have. And we have one variable to work with, so we can call that x. So I'll just call it, I usually just do the top one as x. Now we got to figure out what this one, and we know these numbers add up. In other words, the 56% solution plus the 42% solution will equal 21 liters. So what am I going to call this? Well, if I don't know what to call that, I can call that question mark, and I can just say x plus the little question mark equals 21. And then if I want to solve for the question mark, I just can subtract x from both sides. And my little question mark is going to be 21 minus x. So that's what goes here. And that represents how much of the 42% solution we have. Now I can always check this. If I add x to 21 minus x, x minus x is 0, I get 21. So that's an easy way to check to make sure you assign the variables correctly. Now once you have this box, the rest is easy because we just multiply across. This is going to be 0.56 times x, and this is going to be 0.42 times the 21 minus x. And these will add down, and there's your equation. So I could write that over here. 0.56x plus 0.42 times 21 minus x equals 0.48 times 21. And that's your equation for that column. And that's going to allow you to find out x and then 21 minus x. Okay, so we've got an equation with decimals, so we want to get rid of all the decimals, so we multiply everything by 100, so move the decimal point 2 places to the right in each term. This will be 56x plus 42 times 21 minus x, and that equals 48 times 21. Okay, and then we can distribute out, so we have 56x plus, and 42 times 21 is 882. You can check that out in your calculator. You usually need a calculator for these because sometimes there's some big numbers. Minus 42x equals, and then 48 times 21 ends up being 1008. Then we can combine our x's. So 56 minus 42 is 14x. 56 minus 42 is 14, so we got 14x plus 882 equals 1008. Then I can subtract the 882 from both sides. And I end up with 14x equals, and 1008 minus 882 is 126. And if I divide both sides by 14, I end up with x equals, and 14 goes into 126. And you can check this with your calculator, exactly 9 times. So that's going to represent 9 liters. And x is the 56%. So I got 9 liters at 56%. And the next minus 14, or I'm sorry, 21 minus x is going to be the 42%. So 21 minus x. So 21 minus 9 is 12. So 12 liters is the amount I have at 42%. There you go. So there's your solution. That's relatively straightforward and easy. So you want to check your algebra, make sure you can handle all this algebra. Remember, try to always try to keep your equal signs lined up. That's usually pretty good mathematical form. Okay? So if you had trouble with this one, like I said, there's a solution. You can always pause these, check it out. If you had any kind of trouble with this, try it again. Go back to the beginning of the video and look at the problem and start over, make sure get everything in, and just check it tomorrow. After you have a chance to kind of let it settle in and see if you can do it again. And if you go through it a couple of times, you'll pretty much have the technique down. Hope that makes things clear for you.